Good morning, YouTube. So we're gonna talk about why the YouTube topic today was why some expats or digital nomads or foreigners, why some of them thrive or some of them survive in Southeast Asia specifically. So I've been living in Southeast Asia for about 2 years, and I've been most of the time about a year in Cambodia, 6 months in Vietnam, and now in Cambodia. And I've traveled extensively through Southeast Asia besides Indonesia and Malaysia. I've only briefly been in Malaysia for a day. But I did get my passport stamp, so I count that, you know? Maybe some people in the comments will say no. But in my experience, what I've seen so far is that basically most foreigners here are just surviving. It's very rare for foreigners to be building. So like when I say foreigners, I mean people from Western countries, you know, specifically, but also they can be from other countries like Africa, like Ghana or whatever, you know, someone that's not local, but we could say like more specifically like Westerners, you know. But a lot of Westerners here, they are just, or digital nomads, they're just surviving, you know, because most of the time what happens to these guys is that they just party all the time and chase women, and that's basically it. That's their life, and beer, you know. So Asia automatically is isolating because you are always a foreigner no matter what you do, even if you spoke the local language to a T. And I think that's why people are like, why don't you learn the local language so much? It's like, if I spoke Khmer in Cambodia, I'm still a foreigner, and they still will try to charge me the foreigner price, you know. And no matter what, you're always a foreigner. Like maybe like integration would be easier in South America, Central America, you know. But people are always like upset why people don't learn that. It's because you're always an outsider in a way, you know. So I think if you learn the basics, thank you, hello, how are you, that will create, that will be, I don't want to say good enough, but will help you a lot. So most of these guys, they come here, they come here for women, they chase women. It doesn't matter if young or old, digital nomad or someone on a pension, and then they drink alcohol every day and they have no routine. Asia, Southeast Asia specifically, rewards you if you wake up early. The locals, they get up at 5 in the morning, and if you get up at like 8, like the city's kind of quiet. Like everyone gets up really early. Like Vietnam, everyone goes to market at like 5, 6, 7. In Da Nang, like all the elderly people, like the whole beach is filled with them working out. And you know what, and people say, oh, it's hard to make friends here. Yeah, it is hard to make friends here because you're so wealthy compared to the local population, and that you're so wealthy, you know. Like if you make like $1,000, that's a lot of money to them, and plus the language is a barrier, so it's hard. Like it's like you're in America and you go to like, let's say a school in the project, and you're a really wealthy kid. You're not going to relate to the kids. It's going to be very challenging because they live in a bad neighborhood and you live in a gated community. So it's just like your worlds are so different, you know. So, and then it's hard to meet foreigners. Like I met a guy, a Khmer guy, Cambodian guy, a monk actually, and I thought he was cool, genuine. And he just kept chatting me up, and I thought he wanted to practice his English, and he was a cool guy. We hung out a couple times. I thought he was genuine, but he was fake. He wanted money for his school or whatever, some bull crap, but he talked to me for like 6 months. So a lot of people talk about scammers, but that's the problem. It can be a foreigner or a local person. Like mostly foreigners, like Western people, will more scam you. Like they'll like be your friend and then ask for money like in 6 months or something, you know. And then it catches you off guard because you're like, oh, I thought I built a genuine relationship. But on the other hand, like in America, it's the same way. Like I don't know how many people actually have a real friend. I think I probably have like 2, you know. But it is also isolating in America or in a Western country. But the thing is, you got your family support. So here you have to be like a monk, like in a way, like not a monk like crazy, like you just gotta have self-discipline or you're gonna get like destroyed like a meat grinder. So a lot of these guys, they come here, they party, I have no routine, they drink, they hang out with people that are depressing about the world all the time. So a lot of the people, so a lot of reasons why they survive is lifestyle, it goes up, lifestyle creep, and then they just stay in a loop. They do the same thing, and then they're depressed. They they're just negative about everything. They don't have a positive aspect. They drink and they have bad routine, and then they get into a toxic relationship, or they chase women. So that's why some survive. But the people that thrive in Southeast Asia are the people that are building something. You want to learn about the culture, build, have a plan, have passive income, come here with some type of passive income. You know, the people that have no income and treat it as like a vacation, this place is like a meat grinder. You know, Southeast Asia is very cold, like compared to America. If you fail in America, there's a lot of support networks for you. But here, there's nothing. You run out of money, good luck. You know, it's a challenging world, you know. But if you come here with a builder mindset and you have self-discipline, you go to the sky. I make about $4,000 a month basically from my VA benefits. Plus, I work online. So roughly, I make about $1,500 for me and my girlfriend. That supports me and her. We have a good life, you know. And then that $2,400 goes right into the stock market, and I take a little bit of it and I put it for savings, like $400 for savings. And I went to Coron Salon, this cool hidden gym, and I spent $200 for a 4-day vacation, breakfast included, and food and everything. So, like, you can do that, but you have to be disciplined. You know, and my girlfriend, she's aware. Like, I make sure she sticks in a budget. Like, I send her to the market. I ask her like how much she needs, and I make sure, you know, like I send her with $60, you know. And you gotta be like, hey, we're in a budget. This is the budget. You gotta stay firm on that, because they'll try to take advantage of you. They'll be like, oh, I want to get a haircut. I want to get all this stuff, and I'm like, do you need it or you want it? You know. So that's everything. You got to get a partner that supports the mission, that wants to help you save money and get the best deal. Because when you have a local partner, even if I take my partner to Vietnam, she knows the local price in Vietnam, so she will help me. And having a partner, that's the thing. Like, people stay here in Asia and they just drift. They stay in a loop. They do the same thing, right? Like, they get out of the West and it's just more comfortable. But the problem is, you gotta have discipline. My routine is I wake up early, I go to the gym, I work out, and then I come back and my girlfriend makes breakfast. We take a power nap, and then after that we go get lunch, go walk the river walk, and then have dinner, you know. And then on Saturday, Sunday, we go do something like around Kimpot, you know. So you gotta have a routine. And a lot of people, they're like, oh, this place is so cool for 3 months, and then they just in the honeymoon phase, you know. But yeah, if you have discipline and you are okay with being isolated a little bit, because you will be isolated. But anyways, in America, you'd be isolated. When I went out west, when I went out to California out there, I was away from my family. I was working out there for a little while, and I was isolated, you know. It was tough. You know, I did kind of like a dude's ranch, you know. So yeah, so it's kind of like my story. So basically, most expats, they just survive. The ones that thrive are the ones that are building something, you know, that you see a goal. So those are the people that survive. Thanks for listening, and thanks for the support.